With the drop of EX2 officially in the United States, D-Reapers have now sprung up to life in the local and competitive scene. With new cards come new effects and interactions, and you don't want to underestimate this deck considering it is one of the cheapest builds, consisting of just commons, uncommons, and rares. And if you enjoy these types of videos, do consider liking this video, subscribing to the channel, and hitting that notification bell for more of my future content. For this Tactical Tuesday episode, I want to go over some of the most powerful cards in the D-Reaper category, and how to counter them. D-Reapers were first introduced in Digimon Tamers as the final antagonist of the series, and with the Digimon trading card game, the entire archetype is introduced into EX2 with 11 different cards. The first and most powerful card, in my opinion, of this archetype is Mother D-Reaper. The Mother D-Reaper is the egg of the archetype. This card starts a lot of your D-Reaper combos, placing D-Reaper Searcher underneath it as Digivolution cards to buff your other D-Reaper cards by 1000 DP on your turn. Meaning ADR07 Pilates Head can become an out-of-control piece of removal very quickly if left unchecked. Mother D-Reaper has an amazing All-Turns effect that prevents it from attacking, and it is unaffected by your opponent's card effects. Which means if your opponent has hard removal like Gaia Force, Cocytus Breath, Wyvern's Breath, or Source Strip like Howling Crusher, this card is completely unaffected. In checking in with Eric Edlund, one of your judges for Ultimate Cups, he confirmed with me that even effects like Ju Chaomon do diddly squat, considering Mother D-Reaper is unaffected by Ju Chaomon's effect, meaning you get to keep not one, but two bodies on board. But in a trading card game where Digimon cannot be unaffected by card effects, what can you do to put a damper on their strategy? While Mother D-Reaper can't attack, this puts you in a predicament of trying to kill it before your opponent gets the major heavy hitters on the board, i.e. Reaper. But if you manage to remove the Mother D-Reaper before this boy comes out, you set your opponent back substantially. But there's nothing that stops your Digimon from attacking Mother D-Reaper other than two things. Number one, its natural high DP threshold, and number two, it's always unsuspended. Meaning in order to hard counter the Mother D-Reaper herself, you'll need a Digimon that can attack unsuspended Digimon. Rust Tyrannomon is the first example of a Digimon that could attack Mother D-Reaper. But in meta terms, this Digimon doesn't do a whole lot for the fact that it's just not competitively viable. Yet anyway. Chaosmon is another Digimon that allows you to swing into your opponent's unsuspended Digimon. But you'll want the DP buffs from something to hopefully get over it and not necessarily just trade one Digimon for another. Jesmon decks have some viability to compete with D-Reaper for the fact that Judgment of the Blade allows them to swing over their unsuspended Digimon as well. With multiple Sistermon Blanc, the DP threshold is also easily achieved. However, due to the limiting of Savior Huckmon, this deck currently does not see too much play. Another BTA Digimon introduced is Marsmon, a red Digimon that lets you swing into your opponent's Digimon that are unsuspended as well. In combination with Hiro Amanakawa from BT8, you can provide the DP buffs from this as well or rely on red option cards to get the DP buff. But the main Digimon that you'll probably see having the easiest time of their lives will be Black War Greymon builds. In combination with Metal Greymon from BT8, this Digimon can then swing into your opponent's Digimon. Considering many Agumons and Greymons provide DP buffs, and Black War Greymon builds typically run Hiro Amanakawa, this deck will be the most popular to utilize this. But what if you like playing colors that don't utilize any of these Digimon? What if you're a blue player, yellow, or purple? Prior to the restriction list, Icewall would have been a great tactic to use against D-Reapers when you had an inkling they had the Reaper in hand, because this Digimon can unsuspend itself multiple times in a single turn and conduct multiple swings. There's no way they'd be able to prevent lethal to you, well, until now that is. But besides red and black having the best ways to counteract Mother D-Reaper, red also has a few ways to deal with the wide board as well. Depending on timing, Crimson Blaze, Atomic Blaster, and other multiple target option cards can deal with the board state very well. Breath of the Gods will be another amazing option that lets you reboot your Black War Greymon, and if it has BT8 Greymon underneath it, give it blocker. Or the security effect of simply your opponent cannot attack players for the turn. But when it comes to Digimon that can handle the situation, blue doesn't have a lot it can do, except out aggro it in the case of Imperial Dramon. But you do have to watch out for Gatekeeper, who can potentially give your Digimon -1 security attack if Mother D-Reaper has 6 or more Digivolution cards in play. Luckily at 10k DP, Imperial Dramon Fighter Mode can handle this Digimon and send it back to the hand. For purple and yellow players, these colors tend to play hand in hand, whether you're going with the yellow hybrid, with a purple base, or Mastamon. Regardless, Psychmon is the MVP Digimon of this format for the fact that with this Digimon preventing your opponent from reducing play costs. At the present, Psychmon is the only Digimon that does this, and in future sets, Solarmon and Chikurimon make appearances from the new Jesmon and Ragna Lordmon starter decks that will bring the options to red and black. But that is far away in the future. But playing just this simple Digimon can prevent their Mother D-Reapers from reducing the play cost of D-Reapers they play from hand, and even stop the Searcher himself from playing himself for 1. Their only out to it comes in the form of Pilates Head. But keep in mind, from a purple player's standpoint too, you have ways to remove this Digimon before it can suspend to pop. Do also keep in mind though that more and more D-Reaper builds are going to be splashing yellow or black, which makes option cards for them another way to remove this Digimon. Additionally, Bandai has announced that there were some mistranslations. Go figure. And that Reaper does not have a play cost reduced, but rather its play cost is set to 0. So do be careful of that one card. In my personal opinion, red, black, and purple have the best ways to deal with D-Reaper this set. Whether you agree or disagree, let me know your thoughts on how you're going to counter D-Reaper. Or do you think it's another third-rate deck? Let me know in the comments below. This is DIGI-PANDA, logging out.